Live League Game of the Day. Rejeuce versus Blip. Adder versus Jess.
Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Semi-original guy, aka Mr. Cannon from Advanced Wars by Web, bringing you another Live League Game of the Day. Today we are on Caffeinated Coaster. This is a base light matchup with airport and comm tower support. Now the comm towers over here in the center are semi-contested. They can flip to either player if you put enough effort into it, folks. But we also have this airport locked behind a pipe seam right here. Only available route is for an infantry to go over this mountain and grab that property, vice versa over here as well. Now, where the real challenge in this map comes in is in the corners. These corners are very heavily contested on either side due to it being base light. Properties can flip, they can go to either player. There's a lot of interrupt potential over here, so should be an interesting one, folks. We have Rejeuce and Blip as our players today, playing as Jess and Adder. Now, Rejeuce is a very highly rated player, around like 1,500 or so in the Global League, but I believe they just started playing live. So, best of luck out there, friend. And we have Blip. Blip is a fella that has just come back to Advanced Wars by Web. And apparently it was because of my videos, so I was very happy to hear that, folks. So I think we're going to have a good one here. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and see what went down in the Live League today. And I am still recovering from my illness, folks, so forgive my frog voice, if you may. Thank you very much. I think you all know exactly what time it is, folks. It is time for the standard infantry builds, because you got to get the infantry on the field, folks. It is the #1 priority in Advanced Wars by Web. The #2 priority in Advanced Wars by Web is making sure that you like and subscribe to the channel for all that hot Live League action. Now, as we can see here, Blip looks like he's going to be going for one of the northern properties here. Most likely going to grab that property and then skyrocket himself over to that airport. I think air units are insanely strong on this map in particular. Now, whenever you're doing any sort of base light format, air units are always very powerful. But so are vehicles, you know, so are infantry. Every single unit counts a lot more when it comes to base light. Now, let's see what the first vehicle is going to be on this map, folks. Looks like Blip now has 8 grand in the bank. Going to be busting out the first tank of the game. Very, very strong to get the first tank of the game. Now, Rejeuce is going to be responding with tank himself. But due to the turn order here, Rejeuce is going to be able to get the second tank out due to that AWBW tank order, folks. But Blip is going to send his tank over to the HQ of Rejeuce over here. So going to be attacking that HQ. Very, very strong. Second tank on the field. And now we're going to be having a tank every single day, folks. Blip in position to capture that airport. Rejeuce in position to capture that airport. Both are going to be acquired within 2 days. Blip taking a defensive position on one of the cities right here. Very good spot to be, you know. Jess isn't going to be able to go up and smack that guy anytime soon. So, pretty good spot. Pretty good spot indeed. Nice defensive terrain. Get the mouse out of the way. And let's carry on. Ooh, so this is a very interesting position right here, folks. Oh. Oh, okay. It's still in range. So this is a very, very strong position to be in over here from Rejeuce. So we have the aggressive tank plus a covering tank. If Blip decides they want to go in and take that engagement, it's not going to end very well for them. Also, in addition to that, this tank also covers this property right here. And that's pretty good. That's pretty good indeed. I like that. I like that a lot. So very strong position to be in. I wonder what Blip is going to do in order to respond to this. Going for a capture. Ooh, see, now we have ourselves a little bit of a situation, folks. Blip is going to be able to acquire the comm tower, which he does, and he caps right away. Going for another property, and this is the situation that I was kind of worried about. Now on this map, you tend to see a lot of interrupts happen over here, and interrupting is actually not really so bad because of this mountain right here. Interrupting this property is pretty good. Now if Blip or if rejeuce decided to go for this property, the trade would have been a little bit worse, but there's no units covering this, so this is a very fair interrupt. Blip's going to be able to capture this property, going to be in position to capture the corner property now, which is pretty good. The only thing that Blip has to decide now is exactly where he's going to put these tanks. Yeah, double tank turn, folks. Alright, so this is pretty decent. That's pretty decent indeed. So this is where the tanks get averaged out here. Or evened out, I mean. So very nice. Rejeuce could cap the comm tower and then go in for a strike on this tank, but that's basically just throwing away a tank, folks. That's in reinforcement range of 2 tanks, and you're fighting into base range. You don't really want to do that, folks. Priority number 3 in Advanced Wars by Web is do everything in your power to not fight into base range. That is a very beautiful play over here from rejeuce, finding the break on that infantry and then going for the triad attack. 1, 2, 3, folks. Putting an infantry on that comm tower, now threatening the capture of that comm tower. Blip does have units in position to interrupt the capture, but now the brawling is going to start, folks. Now let's see what the interrupt is going to be. Is it going to be from the tank or is it going to be from the infantry? Should be from the infantry, folks. Infantry is the best unit to do the interrupt with. You keep your tanks back at a safe distance, and you just respond, folks. You respond. You always attack with your back line. You keep your back line strong. Keep your front line also strong, but, you know, you got to keep it good, folks. And honestly, Blip didn't really have any choice there. He had to go in for the break, the interrupt. Otherwise, he's going to lose the comm tower. You don't want to lose a comm tower to Jess. You don't want Jess to have 2 comm towers. That's just not really a good place to be. This is a very interesting position over here from rejeuce now. So he's got the 2 tanks right here, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. These 2 tanks are in position to hit, but there's no effective 2-shot on either of the tanks. This tank is in position to cover this tank. This tank can be hit. And we're going to have a capture. Let's see how much damage we do. Oh, boom. Okay. 8-5 trade, not too bad. Now, if we bring every single other tank down to defend that, might be an okay trade. Gonna go for another trade here, defended by 2 other tanks, busting out 2 more tanks. Okay. Now we're gaming, folks. We got ourselves a brawl. Is rejeuce gonna respond to this brawl with attacks of his own? What is gonna happen here, folks? Now, it looks like there may be a potential break of this infantry, allowing for a strike on this tank. But with the outstanding amount of tanks over here, it's going to be very interesting to see if he's going to go for a break like that. Now, it looks like he's going to play it more defensively. Take out the 1 tank he's able to take out due to just his firepower. Goes in for a strike and then pulls the other tank back. Okay, so this is going to allow for the first strike of 2 tanks. There is actually a wraparound attack that is possible right now from, wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Ooh, 7. This could get very dangerous for rejeuce, actually. If Blip decides to pop the co-power, there is a potential 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's a potential first strike here, wraparound attack here. And then you have 2 more tanks. But there's a tank right here that would result in sort of just responding with the co-power attack. Could be some potential here, folks. I think we might see a little bit more of this brawl. A little bit more brawling might be happening here. Oh, going for the 6 HP tank. Interesting. And goes for the 5 HP tank. Finds beautiful hits over here. Now that definitely puts him a little bit in the lead here when it comes to the tank game. Rejeuce down to 4 tanks, Blip up to 8 tanks. Oh, this is a tricky situation for rejeuce now. What do you do? He's got to pull out of this situation. He's not going to be able to fight into that anymore. Now, base light, if you lose too many vehicles like that, it can be very dangerous for you. But he goes in for the strike. He takes 2 more attacks on 2 tanks, brings an artillery forward, and brings some more tanks forward. Okay. Blip's got co-power. Oh, and he pops it. He pops the side slip, folks. The +1 movement. Let's see what happens. Now, the north is looking pretty risky here. Now, there is a first strike potential here from this tank. But if he goes... Yeah, I think this is probably a fair attack to take, actually. He could first strike infantry. He could first strike infantry here, interrupt the capture, go in, boom, take a big old shot. Could be some potential here, folks. Ooh, strikes the infantry. And busts out the battlecopter. Base skips for a battlecopter, folks. Now, when you're ahead this many tanks, it's actually pretty fair to base skip for a battlecopter. I mean, especially Adder battlecopters. Adder battlecopters are very strong, folks. If you can get them on the field, causing mischief all over the place, you're going to be having a great time. Now, rejeuce didn't pop the co-power last turn either. He takes another defensive position. This allows Blip to pop another side slip, allowing him to go for one of the properties. Oh, and attacks the infantry. Oh boy. Oh dear. Oh dearest me. It looks like we got ourselves a little bit of a situation once again, folks. Oh, and we're popping the overdrive. The super co-power here from Jess. +2 movement, additional firepower. Let's see what he does. Eliminates the infantry. Eliminates the tank. Spots a gnarly first strike over here. Now, is that the only strikes that are going to be possible here? Attacks the pipe seam. Yeah, looks like that's it. More of a desperation overdrive than anything, but did manage to get some stuff done. Puts him ahead overall in unit count. Now, what is Blip going to do in response? He's got no power charge now. It's very difficult to fight into Jess when she's got her super co-power. The trades usually are not in your favor, unfortunately. But does see 2 easy attacks that he can take here. Brings the other units back for heals. Now, I think healing, once again, in base light is very, very important. You want to keep your units alive, so if you can get some heals, definitely get those heals, folks. Especially when you're ahead in the tank game. Alright, brings 1 tank back, clears a 6 HP. Brings the artillery forward. Ooh, brings the artillery forward, but there's a very easy break on the infantry to hit the artillery. Tricky situation, folks. Now, up north here, I've been kind of neglecting the attacks up north. Multiple battlecopters now, but there is an anti-air on the field. So, yeah, it's looking interesting. Looking interesting up here, folks. Now, if I was Blip, I actually wouldn't even mind just sacrificing a battlecopter to attack this tank. That would allow for a pretty big attack over here. But we'll see what he does. We shall see what he does. Goes in for the break and attacks the artillery. Attacks the tank. Brings the battlecopter down. Doesn't sacrifice the battlecopter. Alright. In all reality, probably not a great move to go and sacrifice the battlecopter. But I think it would just completely cripple that front. Like, that attack right there wouldn't have actually happened. There'd be no follow-up either. Maybe a little bit of follow-up, but not much. But either way. Another anti-air on the field now. So those battlecopters are going to be having a tricky time now. Blip down 15 units to 20, but is ahead in value and has a co-power ready. This anti-air is in a very dangerous spot. For Blip. For rejeuce, it's in a very good spot, because if he manages to get co-power, it covers everything on the front line, so this battlecopter can't really effectively attack unless Blip wants to wall off with his tanks. But if he walls off with his tanks, there is a good chance that he might lose some tanks in the engagement. But taking multiple hits here as well, that can be just as good. Alright, so going balls to the wall over here, folks. Sending every single battlecopter in. Now, rejeuce can only attack one battlecopter, but he can attack multiple tanks right here with the turbocharge co-power popped by rejeuce. Alright, let's see what he does. Sacks the tank, goes in to attack with the tank, takes it out, takes out the battlecopter, finds another effective 2-hit over here. Ooh, and another effective 2-hit. Very devastating push. Now, Adder has an attack on the anti-air, but it really doesn't matter because he has another anti-air. Rejeuce here. Another anti-air is going to be coming in this turn. Going to be causing some mischief, folks. A little bit farther south than I probably would have liked. I would have liked to see it more up north, but south is fine in all things considered. Okay, so Blip. What is Blippy going to do now in response to this? Battlecopters can't fight into that anymore. So he had a pretty good lead, but now it is fairly evened out. Yeah, gotta pull back. Is gonna lose some units, unfortunately, but further injures the infantry in the front line so that they can't really capture anything too quick. Rejeuce busting out the battlecopter now. Anti-air finishes tank. And now Rejeuce pulls back to the corner. So he's given up a whole lot of ground here to Blip, but he's in a very strong position. 20 units to 15. But Blip has 69,000 income. So, I mean, he wins the moral high ground over here, folks. Because funny numbers are funny. Or total value, I should say. It's total value, not income. But Blip also has 17 properties, so he's able to just build more units than Rejeuce at the moment. Does Rejeuce have anything in position to interrupt this capture? Oh, I don't think there's anything really in position to interrupt the capture. Blip's going to get another property. That's going to put it 18 to 13. That is super danger territory, folks. You know what that means. In base light, that means you can get a classy medium tank every single day, folks. Every single day is classy day when you got 18,000 income. Now, I'm kind of curious to see what Blip is going to purchase this turn. Now, there is multiple choices here. You could go just your standard battlecopter, tank, infantry every single turn. Could go double tank, but I think it's just... Oh, interesting. So battlecopter, double infantry. Now Rejeuce is not giving up here. It's going for a capture down south. Now, that capture is not really going to go through necessarily, but it could go through in the long run. Now, if he goes in, if Blip goes in and interrupts, he's going to lose any units that go in and interrupt here. But he's already ahead in income. He can honestly allow this capture to go through, and it's not really going to hurt him too much in the long run. But he's got to figure out a way how to fight against this. This is a pretty commanding force now, especially from Jess. Now, that is like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 Jess tanks, folks. Versus how many? 6? Technically, Rejeuce has 9, but one of his tanks is at 2 HP, so I'm not really counting that. Goes for the comm tower. Actually puts one of the battlecopters in range of one of Rejeuce's battlecopters as well. Busts out the classiest unit in Advances by Web. Beautiful. The classy medium tank. Would you just look at it, folks? Like, just take a moment. Whoa. and just bask in the glory that is the classy medium tank. It's a gorgeous unit. Okay, Rejeuce manages to flip one of the properties. Interrupts the capture on the comm tower. Because he doesn't want the comm tower to get flipped. Because just how, like, exactly, 2-tower Jess is bad. But 2-tower Adder is also bad. 2-tower anybody is bad. You don't want 2-tower anybody. It's just not what you want, folks. You don't want that to happen. Alright. So, nice defensive position. There is a 2-shot on this, potentially, but it's like a 33% chance, so it's probably not going to happen. Nor would I really advise it to happen. Don't really have enough units over here. Mostly just holding the line over here. Planning on doing a big push on the HQ by the looks of it here. Rejeuce has to respond to this. Because there is an HQ cap coming. Alright, takes out a battlecopter, join caps on the comm tower. And threatens cap on the HQ again. Ooh, now it's threatening HQ cap with 2 tanks in position. Danger territory, folks. We are in danger territory over here on day 21. Rejeuce going for a flip. Going for the interrupt once again. Does not want to lose that comm tower. Willing to sacrifice the anti-air to do it. Full sending all of his units down south. Doesn't really have a whole lot of units to defend the HQ though. That can be very dangerous. That can be incredibly dangerous. There is a tank in position. There's a anti-air in position. There could be an HQ cap this turn, folks. Not even lying. He could go for a full block, which it looks like he might be doing. He could even block with the battlecopter as well. And I think that might be enough. Ooh, this is risky. Oh, is it enough? All right, this is the moment of truth, folks. Is this enough? It is. And now Rejeuce putting threat of HQ capture right back on Blip here. Going in with multiple tanks, interrupts the capture. But Blip is going to be able to respond to this with co-power and the classiest unit in Advancements by Web, folks. This classy medium tank is going to be going in. And he is going to be able to join cap. Yeah, he join caps and surrounds the HQ, folks. I think this could be game over, folks. 3 classy medium tanks on the field. 4 classy medium tanks on the field. What do you do in this situation, folks? There is not much you can do. Not much you can do. Wow. Blip managed to take out Rejeuce, one of the best Global League players, and probably one of the best tournament players, actually. They have a very impressive tournament record, but Live League is a completely different game mode, folks. Takes a little bit of time to get used to Live League. That is for sure. Well played by both players. Congratulations, Blip, for the win. And well played, Rejeuce. Well played. I actually had a game against Rejeuce the other day, and he did manage to beat me. I went in for a massive luck roll. Massive luck roll. And it was like 5% to 40%. Because I was Rachel on a 1 HP anti-air. And I didn't get the clear. Luck is a hell of a drug, folks. Hopefully you all enjoyed. If you did, consider leaving a like, comment, or subscribe to the channel. I will see you all in the next one. Take care of yourselves, and bye-bye for now.